back to the Remote No Pressure Podcast. Bill.
Hey, it's good to be back.
And friends.
It
is good to be back.
All of us. All of us together. Together again.
Together. With our powers combined. Before we get started today at the podcast, I just want to say thank you very much to our sponsors. Beer lovers know the names. I'm not talking about your local spaceship fruity IPAs. I'm talking about the names in this competitive beer landscape. Two-Hearted Drunken Monks, Pliny Elders, and Grapefruit Space Time Machines agree that there's a new name in town. It's the International Beer Challenge Award winner of 2020, Bend, Oregon's Craft Beer Award winner of 2020, one of the top-selling beers in Whole Foods. This unbelievable IPA, only 70 calories, and, drum roll please, every time.
I was a little closer though, wasn't I?
It's non-alcoholic. I love craft beer, but it's hard not to, and it's hard not to in Michigan, but I've had to cut back. Nothing takes a harder toll on my body like wonderful local IPAs. Although some people claim that the dad bod is so hot right now, well, I just don't believe them. Athletic Brewing's Run Wild IPA is a non-alcoholic, fully brewed, not diluted, non-alcoholic, low-calorie, award-winning IPA. Award. Have this beer or any of their beers shipped directly to your doorstep with 20% off. Go to athleticbrewing.com and enter the I'm already screwing it up. Enter the code BEERMONEY20 to experience this new name.
Now we've had a lot of fun with this one, but it's actually good beer.
We drink it almost every time we're on the air since they become our sponsor. We'll show you this cool little can right here.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
and this empty can.
This empty can because I drank it with an A. I drank. Again, that's athleticbrewing.com and enter the code BEERMONEY20. Bill, are you into meditation, that kind of thing?
Not like I should be. You know, no, I'm not.
I do. I occasionally meditate. I try to do it. I should be doing it more often, but it is life-changing to you every day. And I want to say special thanks to our sponsor, TheRestorationDepot.com. TheRestorationDepot.com provides one-stop shop for virtual wellness services that support the social, emotional, physical, and intellectual well-beings of individuals. I was approached with this sponsor by one of our ad buyers, and they said, Jeff, do you think this would be a good fit, you know, for your crowd, for your audience? I said, yeah, I really do. It wasn't just because I was trying to take the money and run, but I really think that they're a good fit because, you know, the people who fly fish, they're a little bit of a different breed. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? They're a little more, I don't want to say intellectual because we try to fight that elitism mantra, but we are deeper thinkers. I think that than a lot of the people Bill Dance, right? The Bass guy. I'm not saying Bill Dance is not a deep thinker. I don't personally know Bill Dance. If I could know Bill Dance, I'd love to know Bill Dance. Bill Dance today. But did you have something to say, Bill?
No.
Were you mad because I referenced your name with Bill Dance?
No. We're cool.
Jeez. Run it off, dude. No, but the Restoration Depot provides a one-stop shop for virtual wellness, supports the social, emotional, physical, and intellectual well-beings of individuals. So it's a great place for you to go check it out. Also, check out the series, the Blue Collar Fly Fishing series. This coming up Wednesday, Aaron Reed will be talking to Trout Unlimited's CEO, Kirk Dieter. We're very proud to have Aaron on the RNP network and all that he's doing. I'll tell you a quick story.
Go ahead.
As a kid, my father, before my family, my mom and dad divorced. My dad was a pastor, very serious job. So on Sunday mornings, we would go, what we would call them, which I don't know if this is politically correct, but we don't have to worry about getting demonetized. Right. So I can say whatever I want.
This isn't going to be like last week's talk with the Looney Tunes and everything, right?
No, I actually know, or the fairy people. No, this is actually all about, we call them old folks' homes.
Yep, retirement homes, or you talking retirement or nursing homes?
Nursing homes, old folks' homes. Mm-hmm. You know, in deep East Texas, San Augustine, Texas, we have this old folks' home across the street from our or church. Well, my parents, I can smell it now. It smells like mothballs. I can smell that 80s old folks home smell. And my brother and I, we would take a Coke or something, and we would be out there watching Captain Planet.
Whoa, it's old school.
On TBS, I believe it was, the Turner Broadcasting Network. And you know, that with our powers combined, we are Captain Planet, Earth, Wind, you know.
Uh-huh.
Did you ever watch? You didn't have cable as a kid.
I didn't. I saw some reruns. Wasn't it kind of propaganda-y?
Oh, yeah. It's Gretchen Thornburg's parents. Save the planet.
Anyways, go ahead. You were at old folks' home.
So, you know, that's it. You know, it's kind of funny that as far as propaganda is concerned, it's late at night. Right now we're recording this. I'm probably going to say things I regret.
We'll probably re-record it. No.
No, we won't. But, you know, it's funny because I was on vacation down in Key West, Florida, which is one of the coolest places I've ever been in my entire life.
Did you get any fishing in down there?
I didn't get any fishing in. I was with my kids. I was trying to spend as much time as I could with them, you know, it's my kids. And it's not really a kid place. This isn't Walt Disney World. It's more like Bourbon Street, you know. It's kind of like going to New Orleans. But we had a great time. And we're sitting there. We're about to go on this scuba diving trip. Not scuba diving, but what is it called? Snorkeling trip. My kids and I, they're having some Arnold Palmers. I'm having a tiny mojito in this plastic cup. And my son looked at the waitress, and he's 11, and he said, "Could I get a plastic straw? You know, I want a plastic straw." She goes, "Oh, they're not allowed on the island on Key West." And he goes, he looks at her, I swear to God, and dead in the eye, and goes, "But why is my cup plastic?" And I'm like, "I love you, son."
That's because of the turtles, isn't it?
It's for the turtles, you know. I mean, but the plastic cup. I mean, this is like a plastic cup that you know, the little cheap ones, you just throw them away.
Yep.
And I'm like, it
what
makes
are those,
a lot
like
of sense.
the Solo cups? Are you talking like that?
Yeah, like a Solo cup, like when you brush your teeth, and you know you have that little Charlie Brown tiny little cup there on the wall.
The Dixie cup style?
Yeah, the little Dixie cup. It's just like slightly larger than that.
Yep, I know what you're talking about.
But it's plastic. Can you imagine the amount of plastic garbage you're throwing away? But then you're going to make my 11-year-old son feel guilty about wanting a plastic straw. And she didn't make him feel guilty. You know what I mean? But it was just kind of like, and I've told my son, this is the way the government works. It doesn't always make sense, you know, when you ask questions. And the kid's 11.
Teach them while they're young. Teach them while they're young.
If the kid's 11 years old, we're going to solve this problem by creating straws that dissolve in your mouth.
Oh my gosh! And they dissolve. They get all sloppy in the drink.
Oh yeah, it's nothing worse.
So gross. Those cardboard straws.
Yeah, it was gross. And I'm like, this kid's 11 years old, and he understands the ridiculousness. Now, I'm all for protecting the environment. I'm all for taking care of our resources, and I want to go fishing in Key West one day, so I don't want them to, you know, wreck the environment. However, I mean, you're serving up these drinks in these stupid disposable plastic cups that are way more, like a cup is way more harmful to the environment than a straw. But, you know, I'm going to get on my moral high horse and say, you know, I digress. I'm going to go off the rails here. You see, this is it, Bill. You're triggering me again.
I didn't even do it. You're telling me a story. No, the story was before that in the old folks' home.
You started triggering me with the propaganda. You said this is propaganda. Next thing you know, I'm going on my libertarian rant.
I did this to you. I'll take full credit for this one.
Bro, I tell you. I mean, it's triggered. Everywhere I go, it's just triggered me, you know. And this is the year of the trigger.
2021's the year of the trigger?
Yeah, careful when we say trigger, because the gun stuff, you know, that's going on right now.
Is that really a thing now? If you say trigger,
So if you said trigger happy.
Okay. So I will refrain from that phrase then.
Trigger. I will probably stop saying that word, trigger. It's late at night, and I'm getting triggered right now. See, whenever I first heard the word trigger, I really thought to myself, this is stupid. What are these, what do they call the millennials, Gen Y, all this stuff? What are they saying trigger?
Yeah,
quit being a snowflake, blah, blah, blah.
That's it. That's what I've heard.
Yeah, snowflake. The next thing you know, I start getting triggered. And I'm like...
So now you're triggered.
Yeah.
Like that generation that's been triggered.
Exactly. You know, and for some of you that know me personally, I walk with a pretty bad limp. Okay, and when I'm tired, so one of the reasons, let me just go on a little tangent. One of the reasons I'm not as religious as I used to be is I was always told God could heal me, and then I didn't fit the narrative because I wasn't healed by God, and so it was just a very uncomfortable environment when you're constantly told that. This is way too much personal information, but whatever. I'm just gonna go for it, Bill, because it's late at night. So, anyways, so I'm like, I just kind of felt uncomfortable. People who are very well telling me that if I have enough faith, I could be healed. So I'm out with my buddy Micah Sims. You know Micah, Bill.
I do.
Right? And Micah is a millennial.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we go to Trout Camp, he has a Slayer shirt on.
That's not really a millennial thing, though. That's our generation.
No, it's totally not. But,
That's Gen X.
He's a millennial, but he's a really cool dude. And
just an old thrash fan.
Yeah, he's awesome, And he's like, we're out fishing, and I was telling him what happened to me with church and stuff. And he goes, he talks with a really low voice.
Yep.
Man, that's some ableist bullshit right there. What the hell's an ableist? Someone that's not disabled? There's words out there that I don't even know. I should be triggered.
Did he coin this phrase though?
No.
Because I could see that as a...
No, I looked it up when I got home.
Oh, no kidding.
I wanted to be a victim. And I didn't have the word for it. Now I got the word for it. And anyone that talks bad about it, I'm just going to say, that's some ableist bullshit right there. So I'm going to say it. Who's the victim now? This is a horrible, horrible intro. We're not re-recording it either, Bill.
We're just going to roll with it.
Just going to roll with it. It is what it is. It is what it is. Speaking of it is what it is, I got something charming for today in other news. Bill, you turned 40 last year.
I did.
I turned 40 last year. We're 80 babies.
Whoa.
I was hoping to be born in 79, but I wasn't.
But we were still both under the Carter regime. Remember that?
Yeah, I remember Carter very well. He was our president.
When we were born.
No, but this, I never thought I would be 40. Yeah, sometimes I look at myself and I'm like, what has happened to me? And the time keeps going by. Well, this week in other news, it's from the sungazette.com. We've got the link down below. But a 90 years old, 90-year-old touts fly tying fishing as best therapy you could ever have. Quote, tying flies is just like riding a bike. You never forget. For the past 8 decades, Henthorn has crafted artificial flies to catch fish. These days, Carl may still be found tying flies at his home at Valley View Nursing and Rehab near Montoursville. What's up with the old folks' homes? I guess that's the thing of this episode.
It's today's theme.
Grumpy old men and old folks' home. We're the grumpy old men. I'm 90, but I can still tie flies like I did 10 and 20 years ago, like when he was 70.
I can tie flies like a 70-year-old.
Carl started his hobby of fly tying when he was just 11 years old. The youngest of 6 children, Carl would watch his older brother, an avid outdoorsman, Jim, tying flies. When you were younger, you copy your brother. That's what I did, Carl said with a smile. I want you guys to really go to this link in the article. It's a very sweet story about a 90-year-old man. But one of the things, I love stories like this because it's true. I mean, my grandmother had dementia. She died from complications from dementia or Alzheimer's. And I remember she remembered every word to all of her favorite hymns, and she would sing them. Mm-hmm. It's weird the things that you don't forget and the things that you do forget. But fly tying's not one of them. Thank God. So all you people worrying about losing your mind, start forgetting stuff. You won't forget fly tying. Right, Bill?
That's right.
Are you happy about that?
I am happy about that.
Did you see
we're going to have pretty sharp brains in our 90s and beyond.
Did you see my, especially if we can download our consciousness into computers.
Then our computers will, is that what you're looking for?
Dang.
I was on the spot with that one. I had to switch pages for that, but we got it.
Did you see my new fly tying cache that I got for $150?
I didn't.
Unreal,
oh, you're talking about that a couple episodes back.
Yeah, unreal the amount of stuff that I got. Absolutely believable. But I'm going to share this with everyone because, it's a very happy story. And it's funny how he remembers, he's 90 years old. He remembers watching his older brother tie flies. I think that's really cool because, I'm sure his older brother's probably not around anymore if he's 90, and it's just kind of cool. But it's really kind of funny how they said for the past 8 decades, Henthorn has crafted artificial flies to catch fish. Do you really have to put the word artificial in there? I mean, are you crafting real flies?
That's a good question.
If we said you're crafting flies to our audience, we know exactly what we're talking about. We don't say the word artificial. We know they're artificial. You're not making.
Maybe this article is for the non-fly fishing crowd, though.
Freaking Jurassic Park, making real flies, getting DNA out of like a walrus from the 2 BC. No, I don't think so. We don't need the word artificial. Someone needs to reach out to this guy. I bet it's a guy who doesn't. I bet he doesn't fly fish. Oh, it's Karen Vibert Kennedy, hyphenated last name. Karen Vibert Kennedy. So kennedy@sungazette.com. I'm going to invite you because I know everyone listens to this show. I invite you on the show to clarify yourself.
We're coming for you, Karen.
She's probably waiting every Monday. Where have y'all been the last 3 weeks, Karen? Do we really need to discuss this, Karen? God, I'd hate to be named Karen right now.
I know. It's a bad time for that name, isn't it?
I had an Aunt Karen. She was sweet.
Yeah, so do I.
Yeah. Karen's a nice lady. I'm pretty sure she murdered her neighbor, but she was a nice lady.
That's a Karen.
I shouldn't have said her name!
Oh, okay.
No.
Now we all know.
No. It's not the one. It's not the one, Bill. Gosh. God,
was that an on-air story you were telling, or was that just a me story?
I can't remember.
No, I don't either. So comment below.
Comment below if you have any recollection of that episode. And I digress because that's she's gotten off now.
There's a statute of limitations, right?
I think so. I don't know. How does that work? I've never murdered anybody, so I'm not real sure how that works. We do talk about serial killers, though, this week on the Remote No Pressure podcast.
That's right, we do.
That's interesting. We have Ken on the horn with us from Fowler, Michigan. What they're going to do is they're going to talk to us about how to take your truck, your vehicle, and make it into something that you can take off-road. Your Subaru, Outback, your beige 2000 Toyota Camry, whatever you drive. Ken can take care of you. So welcome to the podcast. Let's light the fire. All right, well, I'm very excited about this episode today on the Remote No Pressure podcast. I have Mr. Ken Farley from ExpeditionOutfitters.com. If you guys want to go down the links below, you can find their website, their socials, and everything like that. Ken, thank you so much for hanging out with us. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks, Jeff. Thanks, Bill.
Now, if you go on our YouTube channel, behind Ken is a huge Dodge Ram Cummins. How do you say that? There's no G on it.
There's no G. Cummins.
Cummins diesel. And what are you working on there?
That's my personal truck on the, that's one of the shop trucks on the, if I flip the camera around, there's a Jeep all ripped apart back there. And then we have a parking lot full of, Toyotas and Lexuses and Jeeps for that matter.
Can you tell people, you're in Michigan, which is amazing, which is really cool. But can you tell people a little bit about what you guys do? Because it's super cool. And I think our listeners would really appreciate it.
Yeah, so we started over 20 years ago as like a normal auto repair shop, just a family auto repair shop that my family owns. And then over the years, it transitioned into, we have a passion for outdoors and off-roading. We've built all kinds of crazy off-road rigs, but we found our little place with Expedition Vehicle Outfitters was into what they call right now, quote unquote, overlanding. So it's, camping outdoors, getting to our favorite fishing spots, getting our mountain bikes out a little further. We build very niche off-road vehicles. So we take a lot slower thing of it versus like if you came to me and said, Jeff, you're like, hey, I want to put some big tires on my truck. Well, I might ask you, well, what do you want to do with your truck?
Yeah.
We want to know the end goal and build something specific for what you're doing with it.
So it's a process, really. It's not just, hey, I'm overcompensating and I want really big tires. There's actually like, well, why are you overcompensating? Well,
right. And our big thing is like, we do it a lot where somebody comes in and they say, hey, I want my truck to look cool. Well, that's awesome. Yeah. We use that as a byproduct. If I build something that performs its job really well and is off-road capable, aesthetically, it's always going to look good. That's just kind of a byproduct that comes with it. But our goal is a lot different than that. We want the vehicle to perform very well.
So we talked a little bit about the Land Rover Defender that is my dream vehicle. And
you're not the only one.
Yeah, and they're going. I mean, like fully like rigged out. I mean, 150 grand. I mean, I've been shocked to see how much they go for. But I mean, I'm being indulgent in the do you guys see a lot of those come through your shop, or is that like a little less common these days? Or
no, we've built a couple Land Rovers. We've built a couple. So you run into Land Rovers, Defenders, Cruisers, and then you start going down that crazy tunnel of. Those are Toyotas versus Land Rovers and that aspect of it. But no, we've built Subarus. We build a lot of just everything. Is kind of crazy, but a lot of it all revolves around the idea of making it more useful for the end user. Mm-hmm. So a lot of them have a lot of the same feel for it, if that makes sense. Whichever vehicle we choose.
So my question to you is: every year, a couple times a year, me, Accountant Phil, Wild Bill, and a few of our homies go up to the Manistee National Forest and we camp out. And if you was a couple of years ago, we were really, really, really cold. We were a little anxious and went up a little too early in the spring. But let's just say I don't have $150,000 for the Defender. What would you do to take my Subaru? I mean, what kind of things do you guys, when you take a Subaru, or like you were saying, what do you guys do for it? I know you say, what I'm going to say is I'm going to go fly fishing, and it's going to be butt cold sometimes, and I want a place to sleep. Well, what would you guys do for me with that?
Yeah, well, I go to the Manistee National Forest, and I've been out there. We've camped out there when it's -15. Like the radio station said, bring your pets inside, and we're out driving out there, and we're like, this is a bad idea, but it's fun. It's fun. No, so I know we run a lot of our rigs will run like a rooftop tent. So our whole idea is I want to be able to set up camp and close up camp as fast as possible because I'd rather be enjoying the fire, stuff like that. With the Subaru, we're going to do a modification to the suspension so we can run a little bit bigger tire with like an all-terrain tire. So it's not going to be crazy on the road, but to give you a little bit more off-road capability if, early spring and especially Manistee, you can get snow in there. So like we want you to be a little bit more off-road capable. We'd probably go to like a rooftop tent system. And so then you flip it up, have your tent. I don't run a heater in my personal tent, but like my father, we built him a brand new Jeep Gladiator. He has a diesel heater. And I mean, it's cheating. Like we're out there in negative. This past winter, we do a cabin fever run. We always call it. We run the end of January. We all go camping. We got all our buddies and we're going to go just suffer for the weekend. And, we went to the UP this year. So we were up near, where was it? We're up south of, the Pictured Rocks National Lakeshore. So we're up kind of in that area where it was -15 the one night. I mean, it's brisk off Lake Superior. Sure. They were running heaters in their tents, and we have heaters that we can sell to put in the side of the tents. I don't run one. I just run a really good sleeping bag because I like to suffer a little bit. But there's definitely solutions that way. And it's pretty fun once you kind of embrace that, getting out there and having something that can set up really quick, get you to an off-road remote location. It's just, the nice thing is you're not at a campsite where there's 10,000 little kids running around and people screaming or nothing like that. It's just, you're out there by yourself.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Yeah. You guys could go south in January too,
I don't think that's an option, actually. I like anybody that says that, we're kind of like, I don't think you can come with us. I'm sorry. We do this every year. And this past year, like it was Sunday morning, we're sitting around and you're freezing, eating breakfast. And one of our buddies, he's like, this was a lot of fun. We should do it again, like in a couple of weeks. I'm like, no, we do this once a year just to kind of suffer a little bit. And then we're like, that's it. Like we'll go back in the spring or the summer, but it's something about being out there. And like even one thing we were noticing in the UP was like the stars were just incredible because you're not getting the light pollution. Dude, it's just incredible to stand there and just feel like you can touch all those stars. It was really cool.
Yeah, even in the Manistee National Forest, if you get the right spot that opens up, you can see the Milky Way.
Yeah. Isn't that just crazy though? Like you just never we were hanging around the fire. It's like 1 a.m. We're just hanging around, talking, and then I looked up and it's just like, oh my gosh, it's like right there for you to touch.
Yeah, it is crazy. There's a dark park just west of Mackinac City.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's actually an international dark park that's like supposed to be super dark and you can see things. Have you been there, Bill?
I have been there, yeah.
Did you go out and see the stars or?
I went back in August when there was the big meteor shower we have every year.
Okay.
And I was pulling up to pull into the park and it was backed up all the way out of the driveway. Have you ever been there, Jeff?
Yeah, I've been there before. Yep.
And so I didn't even get into the driveway. We ended up going to actually there's a beach just down the road where everybody sat, and it's the same sky. You don't have the light pollution. So we sat there.
Yeah, last summer I was in St. Ignace across from the dark park in the night, and it really is. We saw the space station flying over us, and that was really cool. But yeah, I was half a blit. I don't know, whatever. We drank way too much, and I got out of my hammock tent, it's the most comfortable way to sleep outside. Absolutely not. And I got up and I stumbled my way over. And Bill, you know where it is in the Menacee National Forest? Was it old number 13 or something like that? What
Old 8B.
Old 8B.
Yep.
And there's like this little break that opens up, and it's probably 3 a.m. or so, and I'm standing there and I'm looking up and I'm in complete shock at what I'm seeing, and it's one of those things that sticks with you. I have a few of these memories, Ken, that it's like I don't know, as I get older too. I'm not trying to get weird, but as I'm getting older, it's like, okay, this is like if my life flashes before my eyes, this is one of those memories that's probably I'm gonna see.
Yeah.
I remember, my kid, I got a couple memories of my kids, and I was like, wow, it's like sticks in your head. And that was one of them. I'm like, wow, this is one of those times that's probably going to flash before my eyes. Like, okay, that was really cool. I experienced that, but it is like an outer body experience. Now, my question to you is this though, Ken, as we've suffered with Big Gretch through this last year and a half, my favorite person. So Big Gretch, as we've suffered this year, a lot of people have suffered through the pandemic, being at home. And, I know Bill and I have talked about it, about people, just the rivers have been crowded. I mean, more so than ever. Have you guys seen a big business boom of people trying to get out of the house, trying to get away from everything?
Yeah, we have. When everything started to shut down, we have a family business. We had a meeting with our employees and everything. We sat down because we anticipated kind of like 2008. We remember that when we were like, oh, wow, this is terrible. Like the phone's not ringing or anything like that. And we were like, hey, whatever it takes, we'll sell off. I'll sell off my truck. We'll keep paying all of our employees. We'll keep this going. And then it was like 2 weeks later, like everything just went nuts, and it just kind of went crazy to like busy. And it's great because right now we have a dozen customers that are out west. Actually, my parents are out in Moab as we speak. They're out there right now, 4-wheeling and kind of adventuring. But we have customers that are out west living out of their 4Runners and stuff like that we built them.
Wow.
And because if you can work from home, you can work remotely, and we put antenna boosters in them, off-grid power solution. It's crazy, but like they're out there in the national parks and stuff like that. It's really cool that way.
Bill, that's what we need to do, bro. We need to take this show on the road.
I agree.
There's nothing holding you back. And that was one thing. I have kids, so that's not going to work. Like they're not going to be super stoked to live 3 months out of a tent. They're not going to like it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's holding me back. It's kind of funny, because I do remember 2008. So my first career, right out of college, I was a mortgage banker. And then in 2008, the crap hit the fan. Then the last job I had before my current one was I sold salad dressing to restaurants. Okay. And so, with COVID, so I'm really bad at picking careers.
Right. Yeah, but new ones pop up. It's just crazy to watch everything. And with COVID, everything moved. We were seeing people become a little bit more excited to go outdoors and travel and stuff like that already. It's just with COVID, everything jumped forward like 5 years in like a year. It just rapidly moved quickly. That's what we saw.
What was it that made you guys transition from like, your mom pop shop, they're in the middle of nowhere, Michigan, really? I mean, you guys aren't in a major metropolitan area. What made you guys decide, hey, you know what, we're going to go for this? Was it, I think you're a second generation owner. Am I right?
Yeah.
I mean, did you guys just have a different vision as you kind of grew into the business? And how was that? I mean, were your parents like okay and accepting of this vision, or would they fight back a little bit? Or I mean, I know there's some dynamics there.
No, and that's been kind of the fun part because it's family stuff. So at the end of the day, no matter what, the client's vehicles get fixed. It's like watching. I mean, you watch like Orange County Choppers and all that stuff of all the crazy. Like we've built stuff on crazy tight deadlines. We've built magazine vehicles. We've built vehicles for like SEMA show in Las Vegas and all kinds of stuff. So like you have that aspect, but over the years, you kind of started seeing it was what our clients wanted. It became we got known really good for fixing Jeeps. We have our average client travels 3 to 4 hours to come to us, so they make a huge commitment for us to build their vehicle and do that. And then we watched it start rolling to where it wasn't crazy off-road builds. Which I mean, I have a couple of rock crawlers in the parking lot right now that we're building, and we will do that. But where our heart is I want to see you take your family out and go travel. That's where and so with that aspect, everything kind of morphed into that. And that's why it went so smoothly for us in the last 10 years, you've seen it really transition into that because that's kind of what we like to do. Like right now, I'm back here working in the shop. We have our employees are working in the shop with me. And like I say, my parents, they spent a week in Colorado. And then they're in their brand new Jeep Gladiator that we built up for them. It's very off-road capable. It's nice. And then they're in Moab right now where Moab's actually a dark sky area. So they took all the lights in town. It's the weirdest thing. They have, and until it was explained to me, all the lights in town, there's little shrouds on top of the light. So the light for your like street sign or McDonald's can't face up. It has to face down.
Wow.
Oh, that's cool.
But you go out in the desert and like, those moments like you're talking about how it's just life-changing. I'd never experienced it till it was actually this past year when I'm standing there, I can see those stars. That's where Moab, you go out in the middle of the desert. It's incredible. It's just incredible out there.
Wow. Yeah. It sounds like a great trip, Bill. I think we should go.
I'm down. Let's do it.
Got some Moab. I don't know if
I can afford not to. It's only a 24-hour drive.
That's it. That's it.
It's more the drive back that you got to worry about because the drive there you can anticipate it, but the drive back you're like done.
I mean, the wind's to your back, so it's pushing you. You'll be.
Yeah, Bill, you're 100% right though. It's like my family lives all in Houston, Ken. That's where I was born and raised down there. So a couple summers ago or a couple of Christmases ago, we decided to drive down there, and I'm like, I'll never do this again. This is a long. We live down in South Texas. It's South Texas. That's not Dallas. So. It was a long drive, and I got kids, and I'm like, I don't know. That was too far. But the trip down was amazing because it's like, well, I got something. I'm going to see Grandma and Grandpa, some Shipley donuts and some Whataburger, and then you're living with the food regret and the guilt, and you got to drive back, and you're just like, your diabetes is acting up. You don't even have diabetes, that kind of thing. I think I might have caught something when I was in Texas. Yeah, it's type 2 diabetes. But yeah, that's awesome that you guys are doing that you're making an impact there. Do you do a lot of stuff for fly anglers, and how have you customized those kind of things? I mean, you got fly rods and things like that. Do you guys pimp that stuff out, or is it kind of like, can you tell us a little bit about that process, Ken?
Yeah. So we have clients that are into going to the Upper Peninsula, Manistee National Forest fly fishing. A lot of it goes into, and that's in our consultation process where I'm asking you, like, it almost feels overwhelming because I'm drilling you with so much information. And we kind of say, well, okay, you're fly fishing now. Where are you going? Where do you see yourself in 2 to 3 years? Where would you like to, what's our goal to go to? Because we want to build you something that's perfect for maybe next year. You know what I mean? Versus having a regret. But yeah, that's the cool part is, and then we worked with local fly shops to where we would set up rack systems. We can set up, as long as we know the goal, whether it's hunting, whether it's fly fishing, anything like that, we can curate the vehicle to that. And that's been kind of the fun part. And the cool part is we're going to ask how far you travel too. Cause I'm going to talk to you on your Subaru. If you tell me you're like, man, I want mud terrain tires. And then I'm like, okay, well you're driving 40 miles to work every day and you're going to drive. I'm like, maybe we should step over to an all terrain that's going to last a little longer. And that's kind of cool. Just kind of putting that together. That's going to work best for your end needs.
Now, what about serial killing? Do you ever put anything?
Well, see, and that with that, you're going to want to get away from everybody. So, I mean, off-road capable vehicle can be good. So, I mean, we got that. I want some increased capacity because if you're going to do it, you got to be efficient at it. I don't want to see you like have to make multiple trips. That seems silly.
Yeah, well,
I see like a tarp dispenser too to the back for cleanup.
It's kind of like Dexter or whatever. like
yeah.
No, I think I've told this story before on the podcast, but we had a listener reach out and say, hey, I travel through Grand Rapids from time to time and I'd like to fish with you, And so I was like, okay, great. I'm always down to fish with whoever. And so we back and forth on dates and stuff. And finally he said, okay, this is the date. So he shows up, remember the A-Team, like those carpet vans with like a spoiler on it? I mean, that says serial killer right there,
Yeah.
And it had so he pulls up and he's got like all these devil like rings on and like pentagrams and stuff and wearing all black. And he's like, the dude's like 60. He's not like a kid trying to find himself. I mean, this is who he is,
Yeah.
And so I texted my wife when I pulled up. First, I'm thinking, oh my God, this can't be the guy, So then I texted my wife. I'm like, look, if you don't hear from me in an hour, call the authorities because I'm pretty sure this dude's not going to let me out alive. And he told me about a girl he was going to go see that night. He met at an Ozzy concert. I'm just like, this isn't going to end well for her. I was like,
turn the location on your iPhone.
Yeah. I'm like looking through FBI most wanted files while we're on the river. It's like, I'm trying to match the hatch,
See, and that's what you got to worry about. See, in the city, they'll kill you. In the country, they'll keep you. So you got to figure out where we're at in this spot of like.
What's that movie? Yeah, you do got a pretty mouth, boy.
Deliverance.
No.
You came up with that answer really quick, Bill. You remember that movie?
Some would
Bill?
say too quick. Yeah.
Hear the banjos playing. That's it.
Yeah. That movie freaked me out. I was with my friend John and Pat Nesbitt. You know the Nesbitt boys, Bill.
I do.
Yeah, they're from Arkansas. So they're up here. They're like, we need to watch this movie Deliverance. And, their Arkansas accent. So I said, sure, let's do it. And I'll never forget some scenes. It's like Burt Reynolds is never the same. It's like it's those Rapture Left Behind movies.
The bandit wasn't what he used to be.
No. It's like that movie and then the Rapture movies my parents made me watch, those religious Rapture movies when I was a kid. Those two things scarred me I still think I get left behind from time to time. There's no way I'm making it, so I'm good to go. Well, that's great. Well, that's really cool. We'll show some of the designs. I don't know if you can send over some photos for us. Some trucks and some different things that you guys have worked on. Of all the stuff that you've done, I mean, it sounds like a very glamorous job. Like you said, Discovery TV type material. And I'm sure you guys have done some really incredible things. But looking back on everything that you've done, what's the most memorable build that you guys have done?
Right now we built a 79 Cherokee Chief. That was one of my first SEMA vehicles I built that we took out to Las Vegas. That one was super fun. That one, a lot of it comes down to the cool part is I work with my family every day. So it's me and my dad kind of beating each other up all day. And there's good times and bad times with that.
Sure.
But yeah, that Cherokee Chief did really well for us. For what we looked at is we loved it because of what it did for our business and our family. And because when something does good for business, it does good for the family. And in that one, like the internet loves it. It always does really well in magazines and stuff like that. So that's always good. But we're always looking to build the next one, and we keep on building more and more. And it's kind of cool putting a little bit of heart and soul into each and every one because it makes those stories.
Yeah, it is an art form. I can say that. If you gave me a vehicle and you're like, "Hey, this is beautiful on the inside," I would not be able to restore it or put a tint on it. And, there's some people that are just naturally good at things, You know, that like they're like natural outdoorsmen, or they can wrench really naturally. I'm not one of those guys. I'm a marginal fly fisherman, as Mark you said.
I'm a terrible fly fisherman. So I do it, but I'm terrible. Not good.
Yeah, so
it's enjoyable though.
It is enjoyable, and that's what it's all about. You know, but it's taken me a lot of work to get as good as I am fly fishing. You know, I have had to really work at it. But when I take a look at some of the stuff you guys are doing there, and you know, it's not just wrenching, but you guys, it's an art form for sure. And that's really cool. Now, do you have any siblings? Your brother works there too, or? Yeah,
yep. So I have two younger brothers. One of them works here from time to time. Now, actually, he's in this past year. He went from working with us, and now he has his own organic farm, and he's farming animals and stuff, like all kinds of crazy. I don't know. It's COVID stuff. I always found new industries now.
Yeah, I'm chasing my dreams, Paul.
Yeah, I'm chasing my dreams. He's got a bunch of sheep, and he's gonna do some sheep, I guess. Now, no, it's pretty cool. He's doing really well in that, and he went to school for that, and then they leave me back at the shop with all the other guys and stuff, and we build all of our. It's pretty cool though for us. Is I love building them, but we love watching, like on Instagram, we get all the photos. These people, like I say, there's 12 people out west right now living out of them. Well, we're getting photos like every week of the mountain. Oh, it's so cool. Like waking up in the morning, open up your tent to all kinds of craziness, and they're working on their laptops all day.
Yeah. Yeah. That's amazing. That's really cool that you guys are doing that. And where are you located at? What's the city, name of the city, the town?
Yeah, so we're in Fowler, Michigan. It's a small little town, 20 minutes north of Lansing. So if you put up, like, we're right in the center, right dead center.
Isn't there like a duck on a billboard over there?
Yeah. So we have one red light in town. It's pretty much that it's us. Like you come there's 900 people in our town, to give you an idea. And but that's a great thing for COVID, when everything was shutting down out here, like it's been like, we haven't known any different. It's just it's kind of like we had people coming from like all over. We'll have my like Metro Detroit, and they'll come up here and they're like looking around. They're like, well, where's all the masks and stuff? And we're like, it's still like 20 years ago here in town.
You're naturally 6 feet away from everybody.
There's nobody. Yeah. And that was one of the, I always thought, we always looked at it as a handicap, because we're like, man, we should move to the city and we have a bigger shop and everything would be. But then after like this past year of everything and seeing everybody, most of our clients like to travel anyway. They're going to do trips of 8 and 12 hours. So they don't care driving up here for us to work on their stuff, or they ship us vehicles. We have people from out of state ship us a rig. We'll build it up and then ship it back to them. It's been great being out here in the country, to where it's just relaxing, because it's super stressful. I mean, it's been a crazy stressful year of all the shutdowns and all that stuff.
Right.
Out here, I mean, I can't be thankful enough. It's awesome out here.
Yeah. Yeah, I grew up in Houston, Texas, went to college in Dallas. And now I live in a cornfield in the Midwest, you know.
Yep.
And it's just, you know, but my last job, I travel a lot for work. So, you know, I was all over the Midwest, and, you know, I'd come home from Detroit and I'd get stuck behind a combine harvester. And I'm like, wow, is this traffic?
I know that life.
life. You're even more so than I am, because I'm not too far from Grand Rapids, you know, but, you know, it's just, it's a different world, you know. I'm very thankful for what we have, and I'm hoping that it all stays together through COVID and stuff. But it's just a nice place to, you know, compared to the big city. I don't know if I could go back. I feel like what do they call them? A hayseed when I go back, you know, and it's like, you know, it's like I'm a tourist all of a sudden, you know.
Well, I get a little stressed out to where we're like, and all my friends are down in like Metro Detroit. They're like, they'll drive 15 miles and it takes them 45 minutes or an hour. Traffic's all crazy. Sure. I'm like, I drive 3 miles. I might meet like 3 cars on the way here. Like, life is good. Life is really good. It's kind of fun. I drive 3 miles to work. We build cool stuff all day, and then okay, well, I'm going to drive home now. It's like, it's just so much more relaxing. And but we've seen everybody working from home. I mean, there's tons of people. Me and my wife did it where she works off her laptop, and we went up north. I mean, as long as she has cell phone reception, she can work. Yeah. And we were doing, you know, you take off early on a Friday, you could go have a great weekend and stuff like that. It's pretty cool opportunities with this stuff.
Yeah, it's a great time to be alive. I mean, even your shop with the social media and the attention that you get, it wouldn't have been that way 30 years ago.
No,
This podcast wouldn't have existed 30 years ago. And you think about it, what are you talking about? I remember, when I was working, I want to work from home because you're lazy, because you want to watch Judge Judy and look at naughty things. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but now it's like the boss is like, you should probably work from home till you at least get a negative COVID test. It's like, okay, and they trust you, but I don't think employees, depending on who you hire, but you hire someone and you want them to do a job, I don't think you'd worry about them, dinking around at home. They want to work. People want to work. So I don't.
I agree with that. And I think if you give them the opportunity, especially if like us having kids, if you give us the opportunity to where like my wife, if she'll work all night long if you let her, something like that. But it's one of those things that we look at it. If I could operate a business that way, like with our builds, it doesn't work for us. We have to be 8 to 5. But if I said to like, well, my guy said, and he's like, hey, I want to work all night long, but I want to go fishing all day. I don't care as long as the work gets done. That like that sounds great to me. Whatever.
Yeah.
Like with that opportunity, that's a pretty cool thing. And like you say, the way everything shifted so quickly. As long as you can find cell phone reception, and if you can't, we have boosters that can help you out. Like there's solutions to this stuff. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, boosters at expeditionoutfitters.com.
Yep, Expedition Vehicle Outfitters.
Oh, sorry. We'll put the appropriate link down below. Expedition Outfitters is my OnlyFans page.
That's only Dan's, I heard.
Only Dan's?
Only Dan's. Do you have an OnlyFans page? Have you thought about it? Should I try to?
I got to pay the bills. The podcast.
I don't blame you.
Our sponsors. We have what was the name of the previous house band? Bilbo Baggins.
Oh, and the toe something peep show. I can't remember.
Bilbo Baggins and the Big Toe Peep Show was the name of our house band.
Oh, one of them.
Yeah, fecal discharge broke up, and the lead singer started the Big Toe Peep Show, and and we installed the cameras for our OnlyFans page. Only go ankle high.
Oh, I don't. I've heard there's actually good money. You want to be niche. That's all the entrepreneur stuff says is be niche.
You gotta be on brand. You gotta find your niche.
Now, do you shave 1 foot and then you leave with the other foot hairy so you can please everybody? Oh, 1 toe. Okay, yeah, that's solid. Probably do a little nail polish on each different one. People like different things.
Yeah, I've got a schedule. They know on Tuesdays. I play 3 Little Piggies or something, and then
dropping the Big Toe Tuesday.
Yeah, Big Toe Tuesday.
Dang, man, I better rush home from work. It's Big Toe Tuesday.
Yeah, I lost my headphones there. I was laughing so hard. Lost my headphones. I'm back on. Yeah, Big Toe Tuesday. What was it? Thigh Gap Thursday. No, it's got to be some kind of like thigh gaps and toes don't make sense, but you know what I mean.
Oh, man.
There's got to be something there. You guys can write us and I'll send you a free sticker if you come up with a stupid joke on that. So whoever our listeners are.
I'll double it. You'll get 2 free stickers.
There you go. Get your mind thinking, we need some real writers. Bill and I have said for years we need some real comedy writers to work for us, Bill and I hack things together, but we need the comedy.
You can only hack so long.
You can only hack so long, then they discover that you're a hack,
Yeah.
No, but to be real honest with you, Ken, we've been off for like 3 weeks just because we had some family stuff. And then also I went on vacation and kind of all hit the fan. So it's been a great night with, we had another interview right before you came on, and it's this, and we're just having a great time. And I think more than anything, speaking about on brand, we talk about remote, no pressure. The further remote you get, the less pressure you have. So it's a perfect fit for what you're doing. But
I'm sure you guys have seen, like, people are out like mad out there. Like it's insane.
It's crazy. But you know what? I one of the things that we want is never to be taken too seriously.
Yeah.
We want to have a good time, and we want to. When we go out, and I think your vehicles can provide that for us. But I really appreciate you, Ken. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. If you guys want to find out more about Ken and what they're doing in Fowler, Michigan, you can click on the links below. And Ken, thank you very much. I just really appreciate it. And once this airs, we'll be sure to share it with you. And you're always welcome on the show anytime. And I look forward to doing some live events with you and just hanging out with you and doing some cool stuff with your company. Thank you so much for hanging out with us.
Yeah, I agree. Thanks, guys.
All right. Well, have a great night, Ken. Talk to you soon. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us today. Bill, thank you for hanging out with me.
Always a pleasure. Almost missed my cam cut. Yeah, always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure. Did you ever smoke Misty cigarettes?
No, what is
Pleasure.
Misty? Is that like Virginia Slims?
Yeah. Like Virginia Slims.
I was
Pleasure.
never a menthol fan in my smoking years until Camel Crush came out. Did you ever try Camel Crush?
Camel Crush?
Yeah, that was a...
Camel Crush? What
That
the
was
hell's Camel Crush?
There's these cigarettes, and there's a little bitty ball in the filter, and you would crush the ball, and that would make it a menthol cigarette. But if you didn't want a menthol, you just don't crush it, and that would be just a normal cigarette.
Are you serious right now?
Yeah. But I used to give my friends and I
a little ball on the end of this thing that you're
bronchitis.
smoking?
Yeah.
You sure it wasn't a crack pipe?
No, it's not. You're not smoking the ball. The ball's in the filter, and you crush the ball when you're smoking it. So you could smoke half of it regular and then crush it and half the rest of it's menthol.
See, people want choices.
Exactly, right?
Sometimes I'm in a menthol mood. Sometimes I'm not.
Exactly.
Believe it or not, I've never smoked a
Best
cigarette.
of both worlds.
I've
right
never
there.
smoked a cigarette in my entire life.
Wow.
Not one time.
I've wasted a lot of time and money on cigarettes.
That's not something. It's something I've just never been tried to. I've been attracted to. I tried smoking a pipe because I thought that was cool, and I gagged.
You're not supposed to inhale pipes, are you?
I didn't throw up. I wasn't like I got into my lungs. It's something with I got a bad gag reflex, as everybody knows on this podcast, and I couldn't do it. I didn't throw up. It was just like my dry heaving got activated.
Did it go back too far?
No. I'm refraining from a lot of jokes.
Well, there's the music.
Thank you guys for checking us out on the RemoteNoPressure.com podcast. Check out our shirts, all of our merch. Help keep the show on the air. Go to RemoteNoPressure.com. Bill, any final words?
No, none for me.
All right. Until next time, go fishing.